You start new habits, new goals, and new projects, even after promising yourself, this time will be different. What if the problem isn't your motivation, but the way your brain is wired to chase progress? In this video, I'll share 6 powerful psychology-based secrets that will help you finally finish what you start and build unstoppable consistency. Research shows that most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because their brain is addicted to novelty, comfort, and quick rewards. I discovered this after noticing a pattern in my own life. Every time I started something exciting, I'd quit the moment it became difficult or boring. The problem is, most people rely on motivation alone, but motivation fades fast. Discipline systems don't. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to stop quitting halfway and finally become the kind of person who follows through. Let's dive in. Now here's where it gets interesting. The reason you quit often starts the moment you begin. When you start something new, your brain releases dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical linked to excitement and anticipation. Starting feels amazing, but finishing usually feels slow, repetitive, and uncomfortable. Most people don't know this, but research from the University of California found that humans are naturally drawn toward novelty because the brain sees new things as rewarding. This works because your brain mistakes excitement for progress, so you keep chasing fresh starts instead of completing difficult work. Here's how to apply this. First, stop trusting your emotions in the beginning phase. Excitement lies. Second, expect the boring phase to arrive around day 5 to day 14. Third, create a simple rule. I'm allowed to slow down, but I'm not allowed to quit. And fourth, track completion instead of motivation. For instance, instead of saying, I'll work when I feel inspired, say, I'll work for 20 minutes no matter what. But wait, there's more to this, because the next mistake silently destroys consistency. This next one is crucial. Your goals might actually be scaring your brain. Most people create huge goals because they want huge results fast. But giant goals create pressure, and pressure creates avoidance. Your brain sees the task as painful before you even begin. Research from Harvard Business School found that people are far more likely to stay consistent when tasks feel manageable and achievable. This works because your brain loves quick wins. Tiny victories build momentum, and momentum creates identity. Think of it like pushing a car. The hardest part is getting it moving. Once it rolls, it becomes easier. Here's what you should do instead. First, shrink the goal until it feels almost too easy. Second, focus on daily actions, not giant outcomes. Third, remove perfection from the equation. And fourth, celebrate completion, even if it's small. For example, instead of saying, I'll study for 3 hours every day, start with just 15 focused minutes. Now you might be thinking, but small steps are too slow. Actually, slow consistency beats intense inconsistency every single time. This brings me to the next secret. Most people don't know this, but your environment shapes your behavior more than motivation ever will. You think you lack discipline, but in reality, your surroundings are constantly pulling your attention away. Every notification, open tab, and distraction drains mental energy. Research from Stanford found that multitasking reduces productivity and weakens focus over time. This works because your brain pays a switching cost every time attention moves between tasks. Imagine trying to fill a bucket with water while holes leak from the bottom. That's what distraction does to your focus. Here's how to fix it. First, remove distractions before you begin working. Second, make good habits visible and bad habits invisible. Third, design your space for one purpose only. And fourth, create a start ritual. For instance, if you want to write, open only your writing app, silence your phone, and sit in the same spot every day. Thousands of students and creators use this method because environment beats willpower. But that's not all, because even with a perfect environment, one mental habit still causes people to quit. Now, here's the painful truth. You quit because you can't see progress fast enough. In today's world, everything feels instant. Fast food, fast entertainment, fast scrolling. So when real growth takes time, your brain gets frustrated and assumes nothing is working. Research on delayed gratification, including the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, showed that people who tolerate short-term discomfort achieve better long-term results. This works because success is usually invisible at first. Think of an iceberg. Most of it exists below the surface before anyone notices it. Here's how to apply this mindset. First, stop measuring daily results. Measure weekly or monthly instead. Second, focus on systems over outcomes. Third, document small improvements. And fourth, remind yourself that consistency compounds quietly. For example, one workout won't transform your body, but 100 workouts absolutely will. There's a scientific reason for this, and it's fascinating. Your brain needs evidence that change is happening. That's why tracking progress matters so much. Now let's talk about something even more powerful. This next one changes everything. Most people try to change behavior without changing identity. They say, "I want to work out," but deep down, they still see themselves as lazy or inconsistent. This works because your brain constantly tries to stay consistent with the identity you believe about yourself. Research in behavioral psychology shows that identity-based habits are far more sustainable than motivation-based habits. Instead of forcing actions, successful people become the type of person who naturally performs those actions. Here's how to shift your identity. First, stop saying negative things about yourself. Second, prove your new identity with tiny actions daily. Third, use identity language. Say, "I'm becoming someone who finishes what they start." And fourth, protect your streaks aggressively. For instance, reading one page daily may seem tiny, but every completed page tells your brain, "I'm a reader." You've already watched this far, so let me share something important. Every small action is casting a vote for the person you become. But wait, there's one final secret most people completely ignore. Now this might sound strange, but finishing is actually a skill. Most people practice starting over and over again. New year goals, new routines, new plans, but they rarely practice completion, so their brain becomes familiar with quitting. Research on habit loops shows that repeated behavior strengthens neural pathways. This works because every unfinished task teaches your brain that quitting is normal. But finishing creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum, and momentum changes your life. Here's how to train completion. First, intentionally finish small tasks every single day. Second, avoid juggling too many goals at once. Third, create deadlines even for personal goals. And fourth, reward yourself after completion. Instead of starting 5 self-improvement habits at once, focus on mastering one habit for 30 days. Imagine waking up tomorrow knowing you actually trust yourself. That's the real power of finishing. Let's quickly review what we covered today. Number 1, stop chasing excitement. Number 2, make goals smaller and easier. Number 3, design your environment carefully. Number 4, be patient with invisible progress. Number 5, build an identity that finishes. And number 6, practice completion like a skill. Remember, transformation doesn't happen because of one giant moment. It happens through tiny actions repeated consistently. You already have everything you need to become disciplined, focused, and reliable. The only difference between who you are now and who you want to become is repeated action. Don't wait until another year passes filled with unfinished goals and regret. Start with just one small action today. One workout, one page, one focus session. I promise you, a few months from now, you'll look back and realize this was the moment everything changed. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more self-improvement videos like this. Drop a comment telling me one thing you're finally going to finish this year. And if you want to learn how to stay disciplined even when motivation disappears, Check out this video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.